With decidedly mixed reception to Sonic Unleashed, Sega decided not to give up on what they had established, but rather refine it. Sonic Team listened to the criticism of the last few titles. The game would be exclusively for Nintendo consoles. It was released for the Nintendo Wii, and a portable version was made for the DS. We'll be looking at both versions today. The early trailers showed promise as usual. Sonic and Tails were surrounded by aliens and promised an adventure that was in outer space. Sounds a lot like Super Mario Galaxy. Comparisons to this game to Super Mario Galaxy began immediately, accusing Sega of ripping off Nintendo yet again. Although Sonic actually did beat Mario to space. He went into space in Sonic 2, 3, and K, and Sonic Adventure 2, so... yeah. So we start off with an opening, and the theme that plays is really nice. Reach for the Stars is a nice musical track among the best in Sonic history, up there with Open Your Heart and Live and Learn. It sets the tone well by showing what people love best. Sonic and Tails going on adventures, and the aliens look kinda cute as well. Well, let's start the game. What's the opening cutscene? Wait, it just starts you off with gameplay? Alright, Sonic Team wanted to get to the action right away. No long opening cutscene, just get right to the action. Reminds me of the Genesis games. Of course, there is a story, and one that is penned by writers Ken Pontac and Warren Graff of Mad World. A game I have never played. Maybe I should someday. The story goes that this time, Eggman has set up an outer space amusement park for people to come in and be enjoyed by anyone. Too bad he's enslaved planets and their inhabitants to do so.
This amusement park has been constructed entirely out of a sense of remorse for my past transgressions, and is in no way associated with any sort of evil plot or premeditated misdeeds.
Well, that's a relief.
In truth, I don't mind this. After the last game where Eggman basically created Eggman Land, this is actually a perfectly logical extension of his goals. Stealing energy from other beings in outer space is kinda like what Bowser did in the Super Mario Galaxy games. Although, Eggman's just making an amusement park, while Bowser wanted to remake the whole universe, so in terms of evil plans, I think Bowser's got Robotnik pretty soundly beat here. So Sonic and Tails are tasked with finding the generators and freeing the aliens who are named Wisp.
Yeah, I'll just stick with aliens if that's okay with everybody.
Sonic just broke the fourth wall. You know, it never gets mentioned. Sonic is kinda like Deadpool, in that he has the uncanny ability to see past the fourth wall. The story is filled with lots of charm and humor. After Shadow and Sonic 06 took the series way too seriously, this one is going back for a more lighthearted approach. Sonic is characterized much more like he was in the 2D games. He snarks, and he's overall back to being a mascot with attitude, which is what he was supposed to be. That whole mascot with attitude thing had been profoundly lost as the series went on, so here it's back in full force. He and Tails have some Vertalic best buds thing going, where they good-naturedly snark off each other. There's also no Chaos Emeralds in the plot. Yeah, this is the first 3D Sonic game where the Chaos Emeralds play absolutely no role in the plot. That's actually refreshing. Eggman has two robot sidekicks named Orbot and Cubot. Two comic relief sidekicks that remind me somewhat of Scratch and Grounder from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. Orbot looks like an upgraded module of the robot from Unleashed, and all he does is remind Eggman of his failures, while Cubot is just an idiot. There's some running gag about Cubot's voice chip being malfunctioning. If Ryan Drummond had returned to voice Sonic as had originally been hoped, it would have taken on a whole new meaning. More on that later. One thing I will say is that for the Wii, this game looks great. Very colorful and vibrant. The amusement park Eggman built is actually an amusement park I'd like to go see.
I gotta hand it to the Eggster. This place is epic.
Yeah, thank you, Sonic. The music has gone full orchestra a la Super Mario Galaxy, and it just sounds amazing. So good. It's not quite as extravagant as Super Mario Galaxy's soundtrack, but it gets the job done. The voice actors have been changed except for Eggman. Roger Craig Smith as Sonic is not bad. He sounds youthful and overall pretty decent. Kate Higgins makes a very good Tails. He finally sounds like a boy. Eggman has these hilarious PAs, but they are a little hard to listen to at times. As for the gameplay, Sonic Team took the approach of improve what worked, fix what didn't, take out what really didn't. There was a good base in Sonic Unleashed, it just lacked refinement, and that's exactly what Sonic Team did here. everything is improved. One thing I forgot to mention in Sonic Unleashed was drifting. It was so annoying because it didn't stop you from falling into a bottomless pit, but here that's no longer an issue. Much better, in fact, are the dreaded QuickTime events that I hated so much in Sonic Unleashed. They're present here, but on a much less annoying scale. All you have to do is press the jump button until the announcer says, much better. Sonic also has a double jump now, in addition to the homing attack, and fortunately the two don't get in the way of the other. Sonic's double jump is much more responsive compared to the Werehog's floaty double jump in Sonic Unleashed. Sonic also doesn't quite run as fast, which is a much needed improvement. Enemies don't really attack, they just kinda stand there and wait for you to homing attack them. It is hard to replicate that in a 3D environment. Sonic's power-ups come in the form of the Wisps, and they serve various purposes, usually allowing Sonic to explore alternate pathways, but it's strictly optional. You have to unlock them in various levels. These are really fun power-ups. Sonic can turn into an alien and float, become a laser, a drill, or my personal favorite, become a giant alien and just eat everything in sight. Yeah, just look at that. Total havoc. Once you unlock these abilities, it can be fun to go back to earlier levels and find wisps and explore alternate pathways, and you'll need to do that if you want to find the red rings. About those, these are basically the Sun and Moon medals equivalent. They're scattered throughout. Some are in plain sight, others you need a specific wisp power to be able to get to. These are fine. But unfortunately, one thing Sonic Unleashed did better was that when you got a medal, it would save and you didn't have to get it again. Here, if you die before you reach a checkpoint, you lose the ring and have to do it all over again. Now, is there a reward for getting all the red rings? Yes, there is. First, you have to do the Sonic Simulator where you just play some bonus levels as a Sonic robot. You beat all 3 levels, you get a Chaos Emerald. Oh, so they are in the game after all. Once you get all 7, you can actually become Super Sonic within the levels itself. That's... wow. First time in the 3D Sonic game that Super Sonic has been rendered playable within the main game. It's a nice little reward. The levels are all fun and unique. There are 6 worlds essentially acting as each zone, and they usually bring something new to the table, like the underwater mechanics of Aquarium Park or the roller coaster rides of Asteroid Coaster. Each level has 6 acts, which based on your skill can last for up to 3 to 5 minutes. Some acts are incredibly short but challenging. The levels also give you fair warning when you're over a bottomless pit. Much appreciated this time. The levels can be tough, but the boss battles are completely easy. Some are even repeated. But let's move on to the final level, shall we? So with all the generators destroyed, Sonic and Tails prepare to head back to Earth, but Eggman's not willing to let them go without a fight. So Sonic does the most logical thing.
See you on the ground, buddy.
Sonic, no!
Just got one last thing to do. As for you...
So now the final battle where Sonic goes Super Sonic and... wait, Sonic doesn't go Super Sonic? The final boss is Eggman? The first time in the 3D Sonic game, the final boss is the Doctor. That's amazing! The fight is so epic too. Eggman throws every single move you've used back at you, and you always get this amazing close-up whenever you get a homing attack off on him. When he gets low on health, the music just swells up to something epic. When it starts, you feel its impact. When you finally get Eggman down to one last hit, the most epic finishing move ever happens.
You horrid little hedgehog!
Unlimited colors!
Laser, drill, space, rocket, you, hammer,
Frenzy! Final color blaster!
So Sonic is floating in space, but he's rescued by the Wisps. Kinda does remind me of Mario Galaxy's ending where Mario's floating before Rosalina. So Sonic ends up back on Earth with Tails. Unfortunately, Yacker has to go, but they'll never forget their friends. It's a nice, simple ending. Of course, there's still some comedy as Eggman is stuck in space. Hey, it's not the most devastating setback he's ever had. So that's Sonic Colors. Oh wait, let's talk about the DS version real quick. The DS version was made by Dimps, who made the Sonic Rush games. It makes good use of the dual screens. It's all about boosting Sonic through the goals as fast as possible. In fact, I think it's fair to say that the Sonic Rush series inspired the current boost-style formula of gameplay for the 3D titles. Sonic's abilities from the Wii version actually do translate pretty well. He has some new Wisp powers, which include the Flame ability and the ability to suck everything in. This ability tends to get me killed because it's hard to maneuver. Story-wise, it follows the same story. The only difference is Sonic's friends show up. Knuckles, Rouge, Amy, Shadow, Blaze, and Silver. Boy, I so do want to do a video trying to make sense of Sonic chronology. I think I'd go insane halfway through. How did these guys even get into outer space anyway? They give you these missions that cause you to have to collect a certain number of rings, wisp, or clear the goal within the time limit. These normally aren't too bad, until you get to Asteroid Coaster Mission 3. Oh lord, you have to play through the entire act of Asteroid Coaster on one life and do it really, really fast. You cannot mess up at all. My hands started to cramp as I did this one. But finally, at long last, I prevailed. Just to get a "you did okay" from Shadow. Oh, that's just nice. The boss battles are pretty much the same as the Sonic Rush games, using one screen, or two screens in some cases, so I had to record both of them. They're fast, but at times I find that I have to use the Wisp abilities to be able to properly drain their health, and the game does not hint that to you at all. The special stages return, and we're back to a half pipe. This is actually really easy. Just grab the colored orbs, and boom, you get a Chaos Emerald. Controlling Sonic with the stylus is really easy. Maybe we'll be back to doing Super Sonic as an unlockable feature. So the final fight against Eggman plays exactly the same. Get all the wisp out of him, and mash the Y button like crazy, because why not? So the day is saved. Surely that's the end of the game. Nope, you get all the Chaos Emeralds and load up the game. The Nega Mother Wisp shows up. The mother of all wisps. Hang on, that is totally just ripping on from Rosalina. So Eggman has corrupted her, and Sonic goes supersonic to beat the evil out of her. Okay, so it's a pretty standard boss battle. Nothing much to really say about it. So you beat the boss, she's returned to normal, and the day is saved. Overall, Sonic Colors is pretty solid. It improves on what worked from Unleashed, and adds little touches to keep the experience fresh and interesting. It's a good game. Not great. But hey, after the recurring mediocrity that we got around the same time, Sonic Colors showed that there was still life in the blue blur. But we were approaching Sonic's 20th anniversary, and that meant something very special. Well, we'll be looking at Sonic Generations as we continue our countdown to Sonic Forces. Thanks for watching, I'm signing off. If you liked the video, please hit that subscribe button.